What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, I want to focus on XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, as well as a couple articles that I did find on Cointelegraph. One being that weak hands are out, and trader who called a 20K Bitcoin top now calls a bottom, and that we could be seeing more momentum moving upwards, that this may be the end to the bear market, and we may be starting a new bull market. I also want to talk about Bitcoin SV, which has now dropped over 40% since its 100% run. And it seems to be that their lawyer, or Craig Wright's lawyer, has admitted to having no private keys, which could be the reason for the major dump right now. So whether or not this is a pump and dump, we'll find out later on in today's video. I also want to spend more time in today's video discussing more bullish trends than bearish ones like I've been doing previously. Even though there are some red flags on the daily candles on Bitcoin and a lot of the other cryptocurrencies, I want to focus more on the bullish aspect of the market. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. Now guys, really quick before we dive into the technical analysis, I just want to shout out my dad really quick. He's starting up a YouTube channel, trying to take after me using this space that you can see behind me. In regards to him, he's seeing how successful and awesome YouTube is, so just give him some love. I'll have his channel linked in the space down below to his videos. He is a real estate agent on Long Island, so if you know anybody that has housing or you're interested in moving to Long Island, definitely make sure to check that out as well. All this contact information is here, but definitely make sure to just give him a subscribe and check out maybe one or two of his videos just to show that we're getting some, traffic sent to his page. That would mean a lot. Maybe drop a comment, saying that you're from Crypto TV or Crypto TV sent you over there. We'll kind of surprise him like that, because he's only got 48 subscribers, and I think it would be really cool to help him out as well. And he does have quite a bit of useful information on here in regards to a lot of buying and selling tips and other things, so definitely make sure to check that out. Otherwise, to jump into today's episode, you guys can see yesterday we left off with probably one of my first fairly bullish videos. I haven't really made a bullish video in about like 6 or 7 months, because honestly we've been in a bear market for that long of a time period. So just yesterday I decided to discuss why I am turning more bullish in the market, because I'm not seeing any more immediate red flags, and it seems like we've pretty much broken majority of the confirmations. Now yes, I do know that we are still setting these previous lower highs, which is something to pay quite a bit of attention to, but for the most part it looks like we're starting to scale upwards, which is honestly awesome. As you guys can see in my previous video that I discussed yesterday, which is doing absolutely amazing, you guys are literally crushing it. You can see that the uptrend that was started is now starting to break up once again. I did call about $15,000 in the thumbnail, and honestly I can see us reaching that area by the end of maybe May. Come May, the 2020 halving, I could easily see us shooting up to that price level. Now I do just want to dive into these technical analysis articles on Cointelegraph, because I do think these are fairly important to update you guys as well with. As you guys can see, the weak hands are out. Basically, Bitcoin investors who are waiting for the price to dip to even $6,000 might have missed their opportunity already, says the veteran trader Peter Brandt. In a market discussion on Cointelegraph on January, the 40-year market stalwart said that, the contrary to what some believe, Bitcoin USV has already hit its floor. He's saying that the weak hands are already out and that we're not really going to see $5,000 to $6,000 anytime soon, which I originally thought we would still have in store. And he's basically calling that we're basically headed up now to our new highs, basically setting newer and newer highs come 2020. So that's pretty awesome. It's nice to see that immediate switch on Cointelegraph. Very interesting, because they were very bearish on their website come the past couple of days, and they finally turned gears and started to basically discuss how the markets are starting to look more bullish than bearish. Now, another thing I want to point out is on the top 10 cryptocurrencies, majority of the coins are bullish right now. They are in green. They're starting to head up, except for Bitcoin SV. Bitcoin SV was number 5. I actually think it was number 4 just a couple of days ago, and now it's losing a ton of momentum as it is immediately scaling back down, now down about 15% on the market, which is absolutely wild to see that, considering it was up about 60%. It is now coming all the way back down to where it started from, which is a classic pump and dump scenario, which I find to be very interesting. So honestly, if you have Bitcoin SV, consider selling off, because I don't think the price is going to go up to there in a very long time. Basically, it says that controversial altcoin Bitcoin SV now crashed 17% overnight after its main proponent failed to prove he has access to his $9 billion in Bitcoin, which is also insane. But after Wright had promised to prove he was the controller of funds like to Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto, the hard fork of Bitcoin he claims is the real Bitcoin shot up to all-time highs at $436 in what is pretty much a bear market. Absolutely amazing, but honestly, it then comes out that he has said he doesn't have access to that funds, and now it seems like the coins are just pumping down to the downside, or just failing and correcting all the way back down, which is very, very, very odd and very interesting. Now, in regards to the technical analysis that I'd like to spend the rest of today's episode on, you can see a couple of interesting things. So right now on DueDEX, I'm really about to pull the trigger right now and decide to buy in for the long term. More so for a long position with a leverage of about no more than 10. And my reason being with that, as I explained in yesterday's video, but for those of you who are new to the channel, basically the way these markets are moving, the fact that we have a long-term position open means that there's possibility for liquidation to happen if we do fall. Now, as we know, the markets can move up and down, but ultimately head in the upwards direction. But on those lows, we could ultimately get liquidated on DueDEX. So make sure to trade with lower leverage if you plan on going in for a long-term position. If you want to stay in for a short term, maybe at no more than a week, I'd say consider 10, 25, 50, whatever it is that you want to do. Obviously, the higher the leverage, the higher the risk. But in regards to Bitcoin, this is what I want to focus on. So we do know that we do have some small red flags in regards to being overbought right now, which do indicate on Bitcoin a small recovery, a small correction to the downside, maybe even a drop down to 8,200, which is about $700, or sorry, $600 from our $700 from our 8,900 position. A very small drop would be very healthy for this coin, very relative to where we were before. You can see just immediate sideways consolidation from the major pump off of here would allow us to then break higher up into overbought. So ultimately what I want to prove or show you guys is it's very interesting that we've decided to break out of some major key resistances. My reason for us to fall lower was off of a couple of things. You can see that I was still in the mindset of this bear market, and you can see I believed we were going to fall even lower due to the fact that we corrected below a couple of resistance points right here, or sorry, support points. We broke below this this support twice, and I ultimately thought we were starting to head down. We got sandwiched in here. We had a pump fake, which was very interesting, and we started to climb higher. This ultimately looked like we would correct all the way back down to what I thought would be $5,500 to $6,000, which we ultimately didn't do. We immediately corrected right back up, and now we're shooting higher and higher. Now, if we look on the weekly, you can see some very interesting things, and this is why I want to speak more bullish than bearish. Notice that we look to be having what appears to be a massive bullish cross on the MACD on the weekly scale. This within itself is huge. The fact that we're only trading at 50 on the RSI gives us plenty of room to move up. Last time we were trading around 50 on the RSI, the price of Bitcoin was around $4,000, and by the time it entered the overbought market, we were all the way up to prices as high as $13,800. So understand that a very small movement on the weekly could be a massive movement in price on Bitcoin's, on Bitcoin's current price. So consider that when investing into this long term, is that there's plenty of room to move higher. Now, also notice a couple of things. We broke bullish outside of the high-low MMA. You can see right here, the fact that we just blasted through a ton of resistances gives me reason to believe we are going to continue to head up and probably break our previous high of 13,900 to 14,000 from 2019. You can see on this run, every time we come into contact with it, we tend to branch away and break out. That's exactly what's starting to happen now. So when you look at the daily, the fact that we're starting to see slight consolidation references exactly what happened back here. Now, yes, this took a whole month of April for consolidation, but immediately after that, we broke bullish at an extensive rate and with an injection of massive volume. We were actually overbought right here, testing overbought. We eventually consolidated out. You can see right here, this consolidation, this sideways movement really didn't change much in the price, but it lowered us on the RSI, which allowed us to shoot to major high levels. So to see a very small correction On Bitcoin, which you could consider shorting by DueDEX, which is linked in the description, you'd be able to capitalize off this small correction back down to the high-low MMA, and then send or switch your portfolio to a long position for the massive rally upwards. You can also consider investing into or just leaving your money alone in Bitcoin in like a Coinbase or a wallet and just leaving it be for the next couple of months. And I would honestly expect to see some very high movements after that. You can see by Ethereum and a lot of the other cryptocurrencies, Litecoin as well, they are all overbought on their daily, which does signify to me that we're going to see some sort of correction lower. Very small one, maybe back to the high-low MMA, before we see any sort of massive jump to the upside. The same thing goes with XRP. We are intertwined right now within the high-low MMA, but you can also see we're nearing overbought on the daily. When you extend this out to the weekly, we're having a bullish cross on the MACD, which is huge, and we're very low on the RSI at around 46. This gives us plenty of movement to easily break outside of our major descending triangle now without retesting levels as low as 16 cents, and then we could easily shoot up to higher and higher levels. My only concern with this comes the fact that you have to pay attention to the fact we are still setting lower highs. This is a previous high at 87 cents. We had another high now at 57. We had another high at 45. We had another one at 30. And now this could be a high at 24. The only way I can be extremely 99.9% bullish on this market is if we can break our previous high. If we get enough support to break our previous high within XRP of 28 cents, I will then be extremely bullish on the market, and I will expect to see movements, that could easily shoot us up to $1, if not higher, on XRP and the rest of the coins. That's pretty much the only bearish signal I have on the markets, is in fact that we are still setting lower highs. That is the only negative bearish thing that I see on these markets. If we can ultimately break through that, then I am extremely bullish, and we are very, very, very close of doing so on most of the markets. Honestly, you can see within Ethereum too, it looks like we're about to break our previous high, or we've already broken our previous high. So I think it's game on right now. I think within the next couple of weeks, all these cryptocurrencies are great investments. Ethereum being one of those as an amazing investment. We'll easily see a movement up to at least 214 to at most 315 in regards to a conservative technical analysis. My conservative approach would be at most 309 to 310 to at least 211. We're going to immediately correct back up and retest that high-low MMA. So honestly, I am very, very, very bullish on the markets right now. I do more so want to show you Bitcoin in regards to its weekly. You can see, or maybe it was Litecoin. So let's jump into the Litecoin weekly chart right here. You can see the same thing goes with Litecoin. We're seeing that bullish cross that just happened right today, or the past couple of days. This bullish cross is a huge signal. You can see we're very close to breaking our previous high, which was at $63. We've actually gotten very, very, very close. We got to around 63, but we were not able to break through it. If we manage to break this previous high right here, it's game on. And honestly, the fact that we are breaking out of the descending fractal, I think it's already started, and I think we could easily see Bitcoin go up to $100, if not higher, within the next couple of months. Everything leads and points to a bullish market. Yes, I have finally switched out of my bearish market. I was kind of agile, kind of nervous, kind of figuring out and playing with the market to see whether or not I was fully, all in regards to being bullish, but I think it's about time that I say that the markets are looking very nicely, especially Bitcoin after retesting its uptrend and starting to break bullish. Otherwise, guys, that is going to wrap up today's video. Obviously, definitely make sure to check out DueDEX. It is the second link in the description, and definitely make sure to subscribe to my dad's channel. Check it out, leave a comment, kind of like blast him, and yeah, otherwise I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.